Never be able to move the way that we're supposed to move as a nation. We will never be able to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish. So I tell you to turn around and return to your greatness and join me as we participate in this metamorphosis, going back to who we are.
Civil rights are an absolute, and from my experience so far, are an absolute right and a truth which a lot of people sometimes refuse to acknowledge, but nevertheless they exist as a fact, and that can't be changed. And the fact that the civil rights movement took place, that was an acknowledgement of this truth.
I'm hoping with this trip to just be able to really explore our country's history actively. I don't know, I've read so much about civil rights and it's just really exciting to finally be able to actually see all of these historically significant places.
A lot of things you hear about, you read in textbooks of the civil rights, but you never actually fully experience it physically. And I feel like this will be more of an impact for me rather than just visualizing it in my head.
Civil rights influences everything because it's really the basis of integration and also of social movements, grassroots movements starting from within the people. And so I think it influences all social movements because it was really the first big one.
Before this trip, we had like more of the informational side of civil rights and the dates and who the main figures were, and I was looking on this trip to get more of like a personal experience and to make the movement relevant to my life, since there's a lot of separation between me as a Caucasian female and like African American population. So it was personal in the fact that you were actually like physically where these leaders were or where these movements happened, and you were getting stories from people and hearing more of the personal aspect of it, so it wasn't just like a list of date figures.
It was really intense, a lot more intense than just a museum that you would normally go to, which is probably why people come here. But it was, I guess that's the best word to describe it as of now. Still collecting thoughts.
I think something that really struck me was that this really only happened 50 and 60 years ago, and it's really hard for someone of our generation to really truly understand that segregation was a real fact for even some of our parents, some of our grandparents, and that people are still alive who went through that. And it really hit home that it was like a personal experience.
I think a lot of times today, like, civil rights stuff is overlooked and basically not forgotten, but it's not as brought up as it needs to be. And I think just going through and looking at this stuff was a powerful reminder of the past, and I definitely think that it shouldn't be forgotten.
I thought it was just a good reminder. I'm from a small town, and in my church they talk about civil rights a lot, and sometimes I would just be like, oh, why are you always talking about this? But they never go into what they went through to get to where they are. They just always strive for it and kind of reinforce that it's really important.
You just added your names to the tolerance wall. What'd you think of that?
It was really good.
We should get one at Hendrix.
I agree. We need a tolerance wall.
Okay. Yeah.
It's already in the works.
In all the monuments, there's people on crutches, and you see a lot of, like, maybe not a lot of white people, but you definitely see them in the marches.
And I think it sort of emphasizes the point that civil rights is not just for African Americans, but it's a human right. You know, so I think that's like the main thing I got from it.
I really took away from this trip that youth can make a huge difference in fighting for civil rights, and that we still have a big job to do in our nation today for working towards the equality of everyone, and not just, you know, race is still an issue, and even sexuality is an issue. Like, everyone should have equal rights, and as a youth of this nation, you really do have a voice.